This is the sinker plate for my Artisan 70D. And I knew that these brushes and wheels were wearing out because it started slipping some stitches that it should knit at the beginning of rows, even if I was very, very careful, which is one of several symptoms. I gave these substitute wheels from my collection of parts a try, but they are not the correct size and don't work. We can tell that they are not the original wheels because there's still a telltale mark right around there showing that it was a bigger wheel. So you can see why it wouldn't be effective to use a wheel or a brush that wasn't the same size. Take note, screw and washer comes off each one, and to try to keep organized, I'm putting everything next to the sinker plate in the order I took it off, because I don't do this often enough to have clearly in my mind what goes where. Also note that there's a declivity that the hardware fits into, and on the side that goes to the sinker plate there is not. That will help us position the new ones. Okay, everything is off. My washer didn't want to come out. There it is. There was some fuzz under one of them. It's good to get all that out because fuzz underneath can keep a perfectly good wheel or brush from doing its job. The underside of my sinker plate's a little discolored, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm feeling for burr, debris, and making sure that's all gone. These came, the new set, without labels, which would have been no big deal if I had put them on immediately replacing the originals, but of course I didn't because we had used these interim trial bits. I think this is the correct way, but that can't be right. It should be either one way or the other. And I believe that to be correct. I'm basing my positioning of these on the circle that was described. You have a nice view of it. This is the correct size. This is not. We'll put it on a C. You can still see circle around there. So that's probably not the original position. Now, fortunately, the person who designed and sold Artisan machines is still in business. So if I'm making a mistake, I can always email him and double check. I'm showing you this because when you get a vintage machine, you don't have that option. The designer is long gone. I am not positive that these washers will work because they don't fit into the little trough. I'm going to give it a try. And if they don't work well, then I'll get Jack to find me some that do. Okay, everything's positioned the way I think it ought to be. Let's tighten them down. Everything should spin freely once even tightened down. Not so sure about that. We won't really know till we knit with it. This is good, this is good. I know that some of what I am working with here is replacement hardware because some of these backed out over the years and we had to find replacements. All the screw threads are correct. It's the washers that I'm uncertain of and the profile that they create when fastened down. So time to go knit and see. I am pleased that everything's rotating freely. They should actually spin. Almost always they'll rotate, but you shouldn't have to nudge them along. They should spin in order to perform well. All right, let's see how it works. I've already E-wrapped. I've got this lever forward, which tells the carriage to knit back from hold. I'm not going to engage the tuck brushes or weaving brushes, whichever you choose to call them. They would help, but mine are in poor condition. I should have ordered some of them too. Plus, I want the test. What's been previously happening is that some of the row will knit, but the first 4 or 5 stitches won't. Ta-da! That's just what we hoped. Typically, if I'm beginning a project with an E-wrapped cast on, I do what I'm doing here. I've already knitted that direction. Now I pull the needles all the way out, set the other side of the carriage to knit back from hold, and I typically do that 3 rows. Here, I'll do one more. That allows me to get my weights on and prevents any likelihood of skipped stitches before the weights are on. Many times it's not truly necessary, but I think it's time-saving to just assume that you need to do it rather than to find out that you should have done it. And at this point, once these weights are on, the knitting should proceed fast and efficiently. It does. Yep, all is well. I was getting consistent surprise skippage previously. Ah, this is lovely. And I'm not having any problems with the hardware not being original. Apparently the profile is acceptable. Here's my first completed project on the newly cleaned machine. It received new sponge bars, new brushes, and a deep cleaning. Now, on to an adult project.